Okay, let's unpack this. You know how sometimes like a song gets stuck in your head?
Yeah.
And it just seemed to color your whole day.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It really makes you wonder about all the subtle stuff, the influences shaping our thoughts, our feelings, often without us even realizing it.
Absolutely. Which brings us to this thing you flagged, this mind reprogramming audio clip.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of fascinating.
And it's actually remarkable how much interest there is in this type of content. You see millions of views for, say, English hypnotherapy tracks online.
Wow, millions.
Yeah. And even this specific channel you shared, Amazing Storytelling, they had a recent English clip hit, like 1 million listens.
1 million, okay.
So that clearly shows people are interested, right?
Okay.
They want to tap into that subconscious power somehow.
For sure. So the specific audio we're going to dig into today, it's actually in Thai.
Mm-hmm.
And what we want to do is sort of understand the core approach it's taking. It claims to, well, command the mind towards more positive thinking. So think of this as our exploration, to give you, the listener, a clearer picture of what's actually going on in this audio.
And it's interesting, the creator makes a direct link. They mention Dr. Milton H. Erickson. Yeah, who's a very influential figure in hypnotherapy. They really emphasize that this isn't just like random content. They're saying it's informed by established therapeutic principles.
So they're claiming some expertise there, basically.
Yes, exactly. Which, immediately raises questions about how this online self-help stuff relates to more, let's say, traditional psychological methods.
Right. Okay, so let's look at the main goal then, the fundamental aim of this mind command audio. What is it trying to do?
Well, from what we can gather, the goal is really to help listeners cultivate positive thoughts and also dispel negative energy.
Negative energy, okay.
Yeah, and they even reference the stress of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh, interesting. So timely.
Suggesting its relevance, during times when there's widespread anxiety.
That makes sense. That connection to a stressful period really taps into that universal human thing, doesn't it? Looking for ways to manage our emotions.
Exactly. Especially when things outside feel totally overwhelming. This audio kind of positions itself as one possible way to do that.
Okay, so how did they tell you to actually listen? Are there specific instructions?
Oh yeah, quite specific. Find a calm, comfortable place. You can sit or lie down, relax, close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Standard relaxation stuff, mostly.
Wow.
But here's a really key bit. It explicitly tells you not to actively think along.
Not to think.
Right. The idea is just to let the sounds flow. Don't engage your analytical mind.
Huh. That's interesting. That instruction, avoiding active thinking, that seems pretty crucial to understanding their whole approach, doesn't it?
It really is. By trying to reduce that conscious analysis, the audio seems to be attempting to communicate more directly with the subconscious.
Okay.
Which is a different mechanism than, say, meditation, where you often are focusing your attention.
Right. And what about the voice? You mentioned it before. It uses a monotone voice throughout.
Yeah, and apparently that's completely intentional too.
Okay, why?
The audio explains that this really consistent, flat delivery is designed to help you relax even more, maybe even induce a state that's kind of like sleep.
So it's definitely not meditation then, where you might focus on a mantra or your breath.
Exactly. It's presented differently. The monotone voice is actually a pretty well-established technique in guided relaxation, even early hypnosis. That lack of vocal change can be soothing, less stimulating for the conscious part of your brain, potentially making the subconscious a bit more receptive.
Got it. So the main strategy, it seems, is targeting the subconscious. And the audio suggests that this state of drowsiness, just as you're drifting off to sleep, that's the prime time.
That seems to be the idea. That's when the subconscious is supposedly more open to receiving suggestions.
Okay. So the aim is to basically program in these positive commands.
Yeah, that's the language they use. Program them in so they get stored, and then hopefully influence your thoughts and feelings later on.
This idea of influencing the subconscious through suggestion, repetition, it pops up a lot in self-help, doesn't it?
It's a very common theme. The core idea is that if you're consistently exposed to these positive messages, they become more, accessible in your own internal dialogue.
Okay, but what if you actually fall asleep while listening? Because honestly, with a monotone voice and relaxation instructions, that sounds pretty likely.
Right. Well, interestingly, the audio says that's fine. Falling asleep isn't just acceptable, it's actually desirable.
Really?
Yeah, it's designed to be effective even as you're drifting off.
Huh. That's quite a key point, actually.
It is, because if it works during sleep, it potentially fits into someone's routine much more easily than something requiring, full conscious effort.
Makes sense. Now, to get results, does it say how often you need to listen?
It recommends repeated listening, yeah. Basically, the more consistent you are, the stronger the belief and effectiveness are supposed to become.
Repetition again.
Repetition is fundamental, right? For learning, for habit formation. So by repeatedly exposing the subconscious, they're aiming to really reinforce the impact over time.
Okay, but there's a big warning too, isn't there? Something important.
Oh, absolutely crucial. A very explicit warning. Do not listen to this while driving or operating any kind of machinery.
All right, because it can make you drowsy.
Exactly. The potential for inducing that relaxed, even drowsy state makes it genuinely hazardous in those situations.
That seems like a really critical safety point. Anyone thinking about this kind of audio needs to take that seriously.
Definitely. It underlines the intended effect, significant relaxation.
And who is this for? Does it say who the target audience is?
It kind of frames it for individuals interested in developing their mental and physical potential. Specifically, people who want to filter and store positive suggestions deep down in their subconscious. It's positioned as another tool for personal growth, basically.
Yeah. Appealing to that self-improvement crowd.
Yeah, an audience that's probably already open to these kinds of techniques.
Got it. Okay, let's get into the actual content then.
Yeah.
What does the audio say? It starts with relaxation, right?
Yes, a guided relaxation phase to get you into that receptive state. First, it asks you to imagine yourself in a peaceful forest.
Nice imagery.
Yeah, cool, safe, clean air, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then it guides you further. Imagine lying down on a soft bed in this forest. You hear a calming stream nearby. Feel a gentle breeze.
Painting quite a picture.
Very much so. And all this visualization is accompanied by a countdown from 5 down to 1.
Okay, the countdown, what's that for?
It helps to focus your attention even more deep in the relaxation. It's like a mild form of hypnotic induction, really, just preparing the mind.
Right, okay, so you're relaxed in the forest, counted down, then what?
Then it shifts into what it calls the deletion phase.
Okay.
There's another countdown, this time just 3 to 1. And this countdown is supposed to help your subconscious identify the root causes of negative thoughts, emotions, even stored negative energy.
Wow, okay. How does it define those root causes?
It covers a lot: past experiences, things you perceived consciously and unconsciously, sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touch, all potential sources of negativity.
That sounds pretty ambitious. The idea that a simple countdown helps your subconscious pinpoint all that.
It is a central claim, and yeah, maybe a bit unconventional for how it suggests you can just sort of clear the mind.
And after identifying it, it just deletes it.
Well, that's what it instructs the subconscious to do. Following the identification, it describes this deletion process. The subconscious is told very directly to erase these negative elements from your mind and memory.
Erase.
That's the instruction. Very assertive. The directness is meant to bypass your conscious doubt, according to the theory it's working on.
Okay, so after this supposed deletion, where does it go?
It shifts gears into an installation phase. This is where the positive programming really kicks in.
The reprogramming part.
Exactly. The focus is on connecting your nervous system, your brain, with your subconscious. And the goal is to cultivate several positive states.
Like what?
Things like feelings of relaxation and comfort, just positive emotional states generally.
Yeah.
Also something called selective thinking.
Selective thinking, meaning?
Focusing on the good stuff, basically. Yeah. It also talks about absorbing positive and pure energy, enhancing your life potential, all leading to a cleaner subconscious.
Cleaner subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. These are all pretty desirable states, things people generally want more of.
Absolutely. And the audio tries to anchor these feelings, these thought patterns, directly into the subconscious through suggestion.
And are there specific affirmations, things it repeats?
Oh, yes, repeated affirmations, telling the subconscious to take control of thought processes, prioritize positive inputs.
Like what kind of positive input?
Good stories, positive thoughts, good memories, beneficial energy, pure and positive ideas, and also to promote efficiency and personal growth.
So lots of reinforcement.
Loads of it. That repetition is key, remember? Trying to increase the chance these messages get accepted and integrated deep down.
Does it connect this to, attracting good things?
Yeah.
That idea is popular.
It does. It encourages your subconscious to attract positive and beneficial things for your mental and physical well-being. Tapping right into that law of attraction manifestation idea.
Which is a whole other area, isn't it? The link between internal states and external experiences.
Definitely debated, but yeah, it aligns with those philosophies.
What else? Is there emphasis on controlling emotions?
Very much so. Gaining control over emotions and thoughts, maintaining a positive frequency or state, consciously choosing positive experiences and memories. It's all about actively shaping your inner world.
Taking charge internally.
Right. Highlighting your own agency and creating a positive mindset, even while using the subconscious approach.
Does it say anything about negative experiences? Can you learn from them?
It suggests you can learn from everything, but the crucial part is to focus on the positive lessons. Reframing your perspective, essentially.
Extracting the good bits, even from tough times.
Exactly. Building resilience through perspective.
And then it circles back to the attraction idea.
Yeah, it asserts again that positive thoughts actually draw in positive outcomes and constructive synergy, which, it claims, leads to a more fulfilling life, reinforcing that core philosophy.
Okay. How does it wrap up? Is there a concluding part?
It finishes with another countdown, 5 down to 1 again. This time it's reinforcing the belief in your subconscious.
How so?
Presenting it as a source of positive thinking, a guide towards good things in life. Kind of sealing the deal, you know?
And are there final affirmations?
Yes, some quite direct ones. It calls your subconscious a true friend, a brain bank, a source of wisdom.
Personifying it almost.
Yeah, giving it this really positive, powerful role. Personification can be effective, right? Makes it more relatable, maybe increases your belief in its positive power.
Interesting. Anything else in the conclusion?
There's a call for positive energy, even mentioning the energy of teachers or mentors to support these beneficial thoughts.
So bringing in outside positive vibes too.
Kind of suggests that, yeah, adds another layer, like it's not just internal, but supported by external positive forces too.
And the very final message.
It culminates in this big affirmation. All these positive suggestions are now deeply embedded within your brain, nervous system, subconscious, permanently and securely.
Wow, that's a bold claim. Permanent and secure.
Very emphatic. It's meant to leave you feeling like you've received lasting positive programming. That's the intent anyway.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together then, this deep dive into the Mind Command audio. What have we seen?
Well, we've seen an approach that's aiming to boost positivity by working directly or supposedly directly with the subconscious.
Right. Using guided relaxation, these targeted positive suggestions.
And this claimed method of clearing out negative energy first.
Yeah, the deletion installation model.
What's really interesting, I think, is how it merges these sort of age-old ideas about the subconscious with very modern platforms like YouTube.
True. The delivery method is new, even if some concepts aren't.
Exactly. And while the specific techniques might seem kind of novel or maybe even strange to some listeners, the huge online interest, those view counts we mentioned, that really suggests there's a significant underlying curiosity, a desire for methods to somehow influence our inner lives.
Absolutely. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About the potential role these kinds of practices, whatever you make of the specific claims, might play in how we manage our own thoughts, our well-being.
Even approaching it with, a healthy dose of curiosity or skepticism.
Yeah, which kind of leads us to a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over.
What if intentionally directing your subconscious, maybe just before sleep, like this audio suggests, could subtly reshape your everyday outlook? Could it shift the kinds of experiences you tend to attract or notice? It's something to contemplate as you go about